right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We had a long hiatus. It's been months since we had an actual live stream, but welcome back for another edition of zZounds Live. And we have a very special guest here today. We are here with Rabea Massaad.
Hello.
Arguably, he has way better hair than I do, too. So,
I don't know, man. Yeah, luscious locks.
But Rabea Massaad is here. He's going to talk to us about some Victory V4 units. And what you just heard us play was the Victory V4 Duchess. That was the clean sound I had over here. And Rabea was playing out of the Victory V4 Kraken. So we're going to kind of do a deep dive into the Kraken. We're going to have you kind of show us some tones on it. We'll just have a good time. So
Sweet.
So yeah. So why don't you tell us about your affiliation with Victory and kind of your relationship with them?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I kind of got involved with them probably, I want to say 2015, but I'm probably wrong. Simon, was it 2015? There you go. 2015, 2016. And it was, obviously Victory were already started up doing stuff with like the V30 hit the stores and stuff. The collaboration with Guthrie and things like that. So Victory was doing some cool stuff. And I got a call from the guys at Victory, basically saying, you know, we're looking at doing a high gain lunchbox head similar to the V30 in terms of its sort of footprint, but we want it to appeal to, you know, modern players, people that are into the gent and
yes,
you know, all that kind of stuff. People that want to have high gain, something a bit aggressive, more hard rock, because the V30 was way more sort of for like lead and it's kind of designed around Guthrie really. So I was like, yeah, absolutely well up for that. Love the idea of, you know, sort of helping design and amplify, and something I never thought I'd get to do.
For sure.
And yeah, so that was basically where I got involved with Victory, and I got to work alongside Martin on designing the Kraken amp. So that was really cool.
For sure. And for anybody who hasn't played the Kraken out there, it's absolutely badass. You should definitely check one out. We don't have the Kraken amp, but the V4 is, honestly, it's fitting the bill right now. So
I'd say so.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's what we're going to dive into, is kind of how this is going to capture kind of the essence of that Kraken amplifier, just in this compact format. So you mentioned that before, though. Before the stream started, we were kind of riffing around. You mentioned how this isn't kind of a one-trick pony, though. So
yeah.
You want to tell everybody there about that, about how it's basically not just the most extreme amp you've ever played? So.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's kind of designed and marketed in such a way that it's obviously aimed at guys that want to do the heavy stuff. But one thing that's really important for me, at least with the fact that it was going to be an amp that I'd want to use all the time in any kind of project that I wanted to get involved in, just being proud of it and getting to use it. You know, I was wanting to make sure that it would actually be usable for everything that I wanted to do, as well as many other players. So yeah, basically it had to have like a nice clean tone, or like a pushed kind of clean, bit of a hairy clean tone, as it were.
Yeah, like some grit on it.
Yeah. So that was all about, and the fact that there isn't a clean channel on the Kraken. It's gain 1, gain 2. So it's very much like, okay, gain 1 definitely needs to be the most versatile of the two channels, because, you know, obviously gain 2 is just going to be, you know, way in more for like lead and riffs and breakdowns and
balls to the wall,
0-1-0-1 binary and all that stuff, you know. So and that's basically what happened. We got into designing it, and then gain 1 became the sort of, I guess you call it, that kind of hybrid clean / hairy crunch channel. So I'll give you a quick demonstration.
Yeah, please do. We'd love to hear it.
So yeah, at the minute we are on gain 1, and the gain is just above 9 o'clock. And yeah, this is a neck like mini humbucker as well, but the idea being that it just gives you a nice... And if I like go to a sort of a split blend, it's awesome. Not clean. It's not clean per se, but it's definitely got that harmonic content that a gain channel has.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, yeah, let's be real here. We're all kind of looking for that little bit of, you know, kind of flavor in there anyway. It's not a bone dry clean. So
like, I've never really got my head around like exclusively clean tone. I get it, and then when people do it and use it well, it's amazing. But for me, it's like, I need that little bit of, a little bit of stubble on there.
Yeah,
you know?
I like that stubble. Yeah, I like that. So the versatility is one thing that obviously sticks out, but how about the high gain channel?
Well, yeah, so I should probably finish my point. So that being the fact that it can do a clean, but the exact same channel, if I just dial back the verb, say I haven't touched the amp. And that's where the gain is currently. If I just turn it up, and that's not even full, but so that's cool.
Killer.
But then equally, if you tube screamer it, so it's a different flavor of high gain to gain 2. So it's like a thicker, more sludgy almost.
Okay.
And I think it's just a super versatile channel. I actually lean more towards gain 1 when I'm playing like even heavy stuff. With the new band I'm doing, it's single coil stuff, and I stay on gain 1 almost exclusively at the moment.
Okay.
So
Somebody in the chat asked, does it model after tube amps?
does it model after tube amps?
Well, I guess it does. I guess it does. It's based off the actual tube amp. So.
Sorry, of course. Sorry, I didn't quite understand what you meant. Yeah, obviously the Kraken family is, at the top there's the VX100, the 100-watt tube head. Then you've got the VX, which is the 50-watt tube head, and then this will fall underneath that. So it's the first of the sort of solid-state amps. And again, it's basically modelled on, the Super Kraken, the Kraken. It's the same sort of sound as those amps, and it's an old tube preamp as well.
For sure.
So it's got really weird tubes in it actually that were used in radar systems.
No way, radar systems. So what tubes are they?
So it's one EC900 and then 3 CV4014 preamp tubes, which are like totally weird, right? But
just went over my head.
Same. But Martin, obviously being the guy that he is, genius, managed to just find a way to get it to work for guitar tone. And like I said, they were used in radar systems,
Very
which
bizarre.
is really weird.
Very bizarre, but it works.
It does
It
work.
sure works.
So in a nutshell, a long big nutshell, yes, they are modelled on tube amps.
Okay, yeah. So how about we hear some more sounds on it? That was just the first channel so far?
It was, yeah.
Okay. You want to dive into the second one?
So then, like I say, the second one's more about just being aggressive. You could tube screamer that. So it's aggressive.
Yeah. Sounds great, though.
Yeah.
It's tight.
Yeah, it is. It's tight, and it takes pedals really well. And again, I kind of made an assumption. Well, me and Martin made an assumption that if you put too much gain in an amp, sometimes, most people don't use it on full, right? So I think it was better to get the pot to give you a full spectrum as opposed to that last 20% of the pot being like, well, no one's going to use that.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like it takes things like tube screamers nice, even when you've got the gain quite high up.
Well, that's smart. That's smart because who isn't usually saturating it with some sort of drive pedal anyways?
Exactly.
You just get a little bit extra, just thickness to it.
Yeah. And the cool thing with the V4s as well is you've got the 9-volt power out, so it can power a pedal on the side.
Cool. Okay. Super handy. Absolutely super handy. And I'm glad you brought that up too. Not a lot of times do we actually get to talk about the fact that pedals work well with kind of high gain settings like that. Sometimes it's hit or miss, but it's good to know out there for people who are looking for that. Yeah.
I use fuzz on like a high gain channel, like almost all the time. Like if I'm going for like a ridiculous, colossal, just barrage of noise, it'll generally be fuzz on like my high gain channel with an octave on top of that.
Awesome.
I can show you what it sounds like actually.
Yeah, please do.
This is kind of one of my favorite kind of go-to sounds. So you want to be on probably like this kind of sound, and then just like disgusting, droney nonsense. But in a live setting, it's a lot of fun.
Colossal.
Yeah.
Colossal. I mean, shit, I wish you played some more of that. So.
It's a bit quiet. I really wanted to turn it up, and I was like, the mics will probably die, so it's a bit quiet. That's the kind of noise that has to be loud, where the whole room's just going like, yeah.
Sergio, our sound guy, thanks you for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, absolutely sounds awesome. We got a bunch of comments that came in after you played that tone too.
Yeah.
Everybody's begging for more volume apparently, so you might have to give them some. So, what else did they ask? Somebody asked a question I saw earlier that got passed up. Maybe I'm mistaken. It's a busy chat today, guys. It's good. I don't play live anymore. As playing at home dad, which Kraken do you suggest? I'd be playing in an environment where I can't get loud, like I can't push tubes.
I mean, yeah, to be perfectly honest, and rather conveniently, this one, because, you know, it's a solid state amp, so in a way it doesn't require you necessarily to have to crank it to get a kind of cranked tone. One of the things with a lot of tube amps is you have to turn them up to get that kind of girth. And one of the cool things with these is if you need to be quiet or quieter, you can use that, these kind of things. And also it has the USB out, so you can run it into your computer and do like, use the 2 notes torpedo stuff that's built into it. Yeah,
that's actually a huge feature that kind of goes overlooked sometimes when people see this, I think. So, I mean, you want to talk more about the 2 notes?
Yeah. It's got an XLR out on the back that gives you 2 notes torpedo software. It's got the wall of sounds, not the wall of sound plugin, but it's the same sort of layout in the sense you get the 2 notes cab miking. You can do EQ pre and post. It has power amp emulation and cab emulation. And they come with 6 built-in presets that we've done. I've done the presets for the Kraken. And you can assign them to the preset knob on the front. You can have up to 6. You don't have to use the 2 notes ones. You could load your own in, and you can save over the ones that we did. But it allows you to play at home at low volumes. You don't even need to be plugged into a cab with one of these.
Okay, so that's perfect for that question that we had earlier then.
Yeah.
And were the presets that you made, are those the ones that are auto-loaded onto the Kraken?
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very
and
nice.
it comes with a range of like the Victory cabs that they made at 2 notes as well. Because I thought, rather than them all being Kraken cabs, it's nice to give a bit of variation because, if you want to do like a cleaner thing, it'd be nice to use like the Duchess cab on one. I think I used the Duchess cab on one, and I think I used the copper cab on one, just to get a different kind of vibe out of the amp.
For sure. Yeah, I think we're actually playing through that right now. My rig is the Duchess through the Duchess cab, and it's just, it's a nice clean tone. So yeah, just gorgeous cleans out of the Duchess here.
Yeah.
This is kind of the similar standalone amp, like preamp section and power amp section built into it that I'm playing here. And that's kind of a nice yin and yang that we got going with your Kraken, which is kind of the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And then the Duchess, which is kind of that nice clean tone, but kind of can get a little gritty too.
Yeah.
The Kraken, it is its own standalone unit, right?
Oh yeah.
Power amp,
yeah, like it's 180 watts at 4 ohms. Which is loud,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even running into a 16 ohm cab, which is most common, that brings it to 45 watts. But still, in testing, it was like, I'd be surprised if anyone turns it all the way up.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have that flexibility of volume and headroom, I suppose.
Absolutely. So actually, I had another question about the 2 notes, and I'm sure other people out there too. When you're using that, would you say this is actually just perfect for just the producer type as well, who wants kind of something for home usage, or what?
Yeah, in a sense, because it's a small form factor, can fit on the desktop. You could leave it permanently rigged up and just plug into that and use your pedal. You can plug your pedal board into it and stuff like that. And yeah, I would say the thing about all these kind of products with being able to save presets on them is that for people that are producing music and making music, that's such a handy feature because you can come back to it another day and not worry about the fact that the mics might have moved or the humidity in the air has changed in the studio and the mics sound different. You're like, why does my guitar sound completely different now? Because I've had that before where you record a record or whatever and it's like something's changed and no one's been in the studio since yesterday, but something's changed and it might just be the humidity in the air or whatever. You know, it sounds weird and sounds really picky, but that's why things like this are cool because you can save your presets.
For sure. For sure.
Come back to it another day.
Amazing. Yeah, we actually did a stream maybe a couple months ago on the Torpedo Captor X, and
Nice.
so we were messing around with the software there too, and it's very cool. For anybody out there who's curious about it, yeah, if you want to check that video, you can see how they can pair with the Kraken as well. There's just a ton of functionality for you to tweak things and kind of dial it in exactly how you'd want it. Let's see, is there anything else buried under the hood that we're not aware of right now?
Well, I mean, it's got an effects loop, which is really handy, I would say. Because most of us, I would say also it's got built-in reverb, which is great.
Awesome.
Which is something that, you know, you see in YouTube comments is like, you'll be talking about amps of all shapes and sizes. And there's always one comment that's like, yeah, but no reverb. And you're like, yeah, come on, man. Not every amp has to have reverb in it. You know, most people use their own reverb pedals too. But to avoid that being the case, we put reverb in it. Because there's no reverb in like the VX100 or the VX, you know.
Okay, yeah, that was actually going to be my next question. Was that on the full featured amp?
No.
So
just because, you know, it's one of those things that for the most part people have their own reverb preferences.
Don't we all?
Yeah, it's like I use the Strymon stuff. That's my go-to reverb, the Big Sky, and so I'll always, even if there's a great reverb built into the amp, I'll always just use that instead.
Okay, yeah, awesome. And do you ever experiment with kind of bypassing like front ends of amps with this thing or anything like that? Or?
So you can do that, yeah. Obviously, the V4 preamp, which is the non-powered version of this, that's what that's for. So you can slave over another amp like that, which is great. You could even do it with the line out as well with this. And yeah, basically, it would just take over another amp. In the sense, this is slightly different than the V4 preamp in that when you engage it, it won't, you know, like replace.
Yeah.
You know, you could use this into an effects return and kind of use the power section of another tube amp. But yeah, it's better as a standalone unit, this one in particular.
For sure. Well, that's what we're here for. We just want a standalone, right? So,
yeah. Always.
Well, hey, let's get some more tones, though. I feel like I'm the one who's just as curious about hearing you rip that thing as everybody out there is. So, yeah. You want to give us some tones that you're using, or maybe even try the presets there? That might be kind of fun to.
Yeah, I mean, I can't hear them, but you can.
Yeah.
So we're currently on the first one, which I suppose sounds a little something like this. I have no idea what it sounds like. So you'll have to let us know in the comments.
Yes, please do. Please do.
I just need to tune up. Sorry, guys. I think that's probably good. So. Right, I'm just going to switch it over now to the second preset because we've been listening to this one so far. So see what this one sounds like. Give you like a British Barky kind of. So that one's cool. Do another one. And I'll give you one more. Throw in a bit of fuzz.
Woof.
Pretty
Filthy. Get this man a shower. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess in real quick succession there, you probably heard a bunch of different cab tones. You can obviously adjust and savor over all those if you want. If you didn't like the sound of them, But then also, yeah, I just went through a couple of different of the gain staging on first channel again, threw in the fuzz in case you couldn't see that. So
Awesome, man. Yeah, appreciate it. Obviously, when you started playing, everybody there was like, "Yes, please play more. Just keep playing right now."
Oh, okay.
They're still begging for it.
Yeah.
How about this? How about you oblige one more time and just rip some lead on any setting you want.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, how about that? Not to put you on the spot or anything. No big deal, you know.
Yeah, it's all right. You completely did, but that's fine. I'm only messing. Is that okay?
More than enough.
Right?
Yeah, more than enough. All right, guys, I officially quit. I'm no longer working on Zzounds anymore.
I was wondering, those sometimes when you do that kind of thing, it's like it could go so horribly wrong in a split second. You know, you go into it and you might just slip. You know, when you do a bend, have you ever done that? It's so embarrassing.
And we're all just sitting here like.
Yeah, yeah. Oh well.
Amazing. No, yeah, that sounds absolutely amazing. We had a bunch of comments roll through again. I think everybody was just teasing because you said if you don't like the sound, you could replace it. And everybody was saying,
"Oh, I see."
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't like the sound, then F off.
That's my favorite, Angelo. Nice one.
Just if you don't like the sound, then turn it down and enjoy. Yeah. Sick, rock and rolling. It's all good. Yeah. They're just pouring in there. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. You have fans out there. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, so obviously we got the lowdown on it. But anything else you wanted to say about the unit here?
It's really lightweight. That's one of my favorite features of it because it isn't very heavy at all, and you just chuck it in your backpack, and I think that's awesome. And also, I would say that for what's involved in the product itself, like what's in there, I don't think it's unfairly priced. You know, yeah, I've tried with two before. I've made a stereo rig with these before.
Nice.
And like, that's a lot of amp, you know, and it sounds really good. I'm not necessarily saying buy two, but you know, for the price of two, I think it's pretty good. In any case, yeah, it's lightweight, and I enjoy that. And I think overall, I think you'd be quite surprised that it's quite versatile.
For sure.
You know.
Oh, well, what is the price on this unit as well? $9.99. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. That's totally worth it.
I think so. I mean, I think it's in that area where it's like, you know, you have to commit to the purchase, but I think it's, you know, if you are, then you're going to really enjoy it. You know, I think it's fair.
You guys at Victory you got to work for it. You got to work for the tone there. Yeah. All right, for sure. I think somebody said the X4 was what, $499. Somebody else said $499 for X4. I don't know what they're talking about, but that's for the non-powered. Yeah,
that's for the
Gotcha. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. The weight bringing that up too is good since as my aging back gets up there. I also am kind of trying to just grab and go here. If
I mean the big heavy heads, they're great, but on tour you do kind of wish you had something really lightweight. You don't have to like lug around, but
no kidding.
It's also worth saying that they have fans in them as well. Mm-hmm. They'll cheer you on whenever you get ready for the gig. No, they have fans in them so they don't overheat, which you can also switch on and off.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, for a little extra quality of life feature for you there.
Oh, hell yeah! All right, so anything else I'm missing here? I feel like we.
No, I think that's pretty much everything about the V4 guitar amplifier. Did your tattoo artist really do the artwork? That is, yes, she did. She's called Esme Baker.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, she did my half sleeve, and she also did the artwork for the Kraken. So that was really cool. That was a really cool thing to be able to do. Is, you know, because I knew her before getting tattoos. It's like ring her up and be like, "Hey, got a pretty cool project for you to do if you're up for it." You know, it's like, do you want to do the artwork for a guitar amplifier? It's like a bit of a random request, I guess. You know, so she was really into it. So.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Fun fact, I did not know that. All right. Yeah. So this is truly your own right there. Truly your own pedal. So
Yeah, in a weird kind of way, I suppose. I'd probably connected to this one the most just because of the design process and everything else that went into it, I suppose.
For sure.
So
You gigging with this thing or anything like that?
I'm currently, well, I don't really have a band at the minute.
Oh, yeah. No, COVID.
But I've got a new one on the brew, and I'm currently using the 50 watt heads.
Cool.
The Kraken. Yeah.
Okay.
It's always going to be an iteration of Kraken, whether it's the Super Kraken or the VX or these, depending on if we have to fly somewhere and it's we can't take the heads because they're heavy or whatever.
Okay. So you always play the Kraken. That's the mainstay of your rig.
Yeah.
Okay,
to be fair, I don't feel like I'm looking for. I mean, it's one thing when you're in the studio and you're working on tones and records and stuff that you need different stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just need a Marshall Plexi or JCM 800 sound or like an AC30 thing. You might just need those tones. But for pretty much everything else, I'll use the Kraken.
All right. Well, I guess if it's good enough for Rabea, it's good enough for me and everybody else out there. So, but very cool. So last chance. If there's anything else to say about it, I'll just let you play us on out again. That's right. I just put you on the spot again. So
no, it's totally cool. Yeah, happy to answer if anyone's got any questions on it or anything like that.
It says, when did you release the Kraken?
The original one. When did you release the Kraken? I think that probably happened thousands of years ago in Greece somewhere, didn't it? Possibly. What I was going to say was it came out. When did it come out? Simon, when did it come out? 2016? Yeah, 2016 was when it was released. And I've been super grateful for the response. It's been really good. Lots of cool artists are using them now, and
for sure,
they seem to have gotten real positive feedback. So
yeah, man. Well, I didn't get to play into this one yet, but just hearing you
shred. No?
Oh, not right now.
Okay, all right, that's cool.
I don't know.
That's fine.
I'm too ashamed right now. So yeah. But again, man, thanks for giving us the rundown and giving us some tones here. I'm sure if we get another last questions, we'll answer those. But otherwise, I just can't thank you enough, man, for popping in here from across the pond and hanging out with us. And
I appreciate
us the unit. Yeah.
Yeah, nice one. I appreciate you having me down here, and it's been fun.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, tune in next time for our next stream. And until then, we will see you then. But again, just to reiterate, this is the Victory V4 Kraken, and this is the standalone unit there. So everybody check that out. We also sell it on zZounds right now, so feel free to take a look at the site and pick one of those up today. All right, thanks again, guys.